Get started. Thank you all for being here. This is a staff meeting of the Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners, October 28th, 2025. We have two things on our agenda this morning. The first one is the 2025 CDBG nonprofit grant recommendation. We're going to do that one first, and then we are going to talk about SNAP benefits. We've got a number of speakers on that topic, but we're going to roll through the CDBG recommendations first, and then to get to the SNAP portion of the meeting second. So thank you for being here. Jake?
Yes.
Yeah. But please introduce yourself, and I know there are other members of the team here.
Absolutely. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Jake Berghaus. I am a program manager in the Community Development Division of Planning and Development. Here with me are Steve Johns and James Noyes, Assistant and Director of the Planning Department. And I am here to announce the 2025 CDBG Nonprofit Services Funding Recommendations from the Community Development Advisory Committee. Very short background. This is an annual grant that comes out of our CDBG funds. We can use up to 15% of our annual allocation for public social services. And we run an annual RFP to award those funds, and that RFP, those applications are reviewed by our Community Development Advisory Committee, also known as CDAC. This year we did have a very competitive round, probably the most competitive round of my time here at the county. We had 30 applications. 27 of these applications were deemed eligible. There were 29 unique organizations, so we did have one organization that submitted for 2 projects. The scoring was just very, very close this year, as you can see. Here, less than 5 points separated the top 8 scoring proposals this year. Usually, we have a cluster here way at the top, then there's a little bit of break. This was not the case this year, and so CDAC's job was a little more difficult than in years past. That being said, they rose to the challenge and decided to fund the top 8 scoring applicants, which you can see here, at 70% of their requested amount. This year we had $500,000 to award for the program, and with doing that 70%, that left about approximately $2,500 left in that budget of $500,000, which was then awarded to the top scoring applicant, Habitat for Humanity. And so just to give a very brief overview of each of these programs. First, we had Habitat for Humanity with their construction training program. This is a collaborative program with CityLink and is a workforce development initiative to train and prepare individuals for careers in the construction industry. Next was St. Vincent de Paul with the charitable pharmacy. No stranger to these funds, this presentation. So they provide free medication and comprehensive pharmaceutical care to uninsured and underinsured folks here in in Greater Cincinnati who otherwise could not afford their medications. They also actually provide wraparound services in conjunction with the pharmacy, full primary care, and the like. Le Soup being awarded for their recommended for their Rescue, Transform, and Share food program. This is the agency's signature program, which focuses on fighting food waste and hunger. Le Soup's volunteers and chefs transform these the rescued food and other items into delicious, healthy meals while engaging in a broad network of over 150 partner agencies to distribute these meals. Right next to them, we have another food program in Last Mile Food Rescue. They are new to our applying for our funds, and they are first time being recommended. Their last mile food rescue leverages innovative technology and strategy to bridge the gap between food insecurity, food waste, and to advance the county's environmental sustainability efforts. They use an integrated app technology that mobilizes their volunteers who go and pick up excess perishable food items from different grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants, other businesses, and then these drivers take the food to community partners to be distributed throughout the community. Legal Aid Society, they're keeping families safe and stable at home. And this program provides legal advice, negotiation, and representation for eviction and foreclosure prevention. Legal Aid Society helps to expedite applications for rental and mortgage assistance and to assist and stabilize the income by appealing public benefits denials and removing barriers to employment. ICRC Corporation is being recommended for their Achieving Self-Sufficiency Through Employment Training and Support, or ASSETS program. With these funds, they intend to continue the expansion of this program with the intention of continuing to promote economic development and social mobility. Expanded services are going to include job readiness, career exploration and coaching, support services for educational goals. And the program currently offers training in the areas of culinary arts, landscaping, building maintenance, construction, office administration and management, and human services. Next, we have Pro Seniors with their Home Legacy Project. They will provide estate planning, wills, advance directives, survivorship deeds, TOD affidavits to low-income older adults in Hamilton County to prevent problems such as tangled titles, to protect the generational wealth of these families, and to support stable housing for folks. These services will include generally legal advice, representation, and outreach. And finally, the Immigrant and Refugee Law Center is being recommended for their immigrant legal services. IRLC will provide comprehensive legal immigration services for low-income immigrants eligible for relief, including asylum, humanitarian visas, green cards, and citizenship assistance, community education initiatives, and preventative programming designed to prevent families from being deported or prevent family separation. So just to provide an overview of all of the applications we have here, as you can see, the scoring was just absolutely close, just beyond close. You don't get really until break all the way down until I believe that's the 17th. So over half of the applicants scored within 10 points of one another. So with that, you know, I mean, it was just a lot of interest, continued interest every year. We're seeing not just the same organizations, we're seeing new organizations, we're awarding new organizations. So it's become a very competitive grant, which is good. Moving forward, we do plan, CD staff, me, will provide technical assistance to any organizations who are interested in the lead up to next year's RFP. We do plan to do some updates over in the interim to the RFP, just to kind of change the scoring a little bit, switch it up, and just kind of update a little bit, especially with some of the changes we've seen recently in requirements and the like. At this time, no direct legislative action is necessary by the board. However, contracts will need to be executed with the awarded agencies, and they will be before you when that time comes. And with that, I thank you all for your time and welcome any questions.
Okay, thank you. And thank you to the committee for the work that they continue to do on our behalf to try to sort through the different applications. You know, it does seem to me that the increased application pool is probably an increase in interest and an increase in the need for organizations in this community that are serving families, because when you look through this list, family stability seems to be the theme here, whether it's related to housing or workforce or food insecurity, which is something we're going to be talking about here in a minute, food insecurity and housing. These needs permeate all the work that we're doing, and so it's no surprise that those have risen to the top of the list here. So thank you again for the presentation. Commissioner Summer Dumas, any comments or questions?
Yes, thank you so much for your presentation. I can remember saying a few years ago that we did not have a lot of applications, and we need to do a better job of letting people know about this, and it's worked. So certainly appreciate the strategies that have been used and the diversity of the agencies that will hopefully receive some of this funding. I'd like for us, though, to realize that our residents have more of a listening ear than ever before because of what's going on around them. So with that being said, I want us to be very open about where these monies are coming from. If you could just say, I know where they're coming from. And also acronyms. When we use acronyms and people are listening, they sometimes like CDAC, I know what that is. So if you could just answer those two questions.
Yes, absolutely. I know it's getting mired in the alphabet soup is a little difficult, and I forget that I need to, hop out and speak English again. So the CDBG is the Community Development Block Grant. It's one of the 3 entitlement grants that the county receives through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's Community Planning and Development Block Grants.
Federal funds.
Federal funding, yes. Okay. And then the CDAC or CDAC is the Community Development Advisory Committee, and they are a citizen commission or committee appointed by the Board of County Commissioners. It's 11 members, and they serve rotating 3-year terms.
Thank you so much, and just wanted to make it clear that it does not, none of these funds come out of our general fund where we use to take care of our residents for their basic needs. So I wanted to make that clear too.
Yes, no.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Reese.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Couple questions. 2025 recommendations. Are these contracts that go for this year? Or
yes,
will
so
go next year?
They will run for. So our program year is a July to June program year. So these contracts will they'll be able to back invoice until all the way to July 1st, and their contract will run through the rest of the year. Yes.
Okay. And the conversation that we're getting ready to have in a minute about the government shutdown, are these funds already in our account?
They are sitting in our account. Yes.
So we have the money.
Yes, we do have them.
Great.
It took a little while, but we do have them.
Yeah, I'm recommending a Cash App program for the government right now. With that being said, though, I just want us to be, I know, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this after we get done with the next presentations. Because of the times that we're living in now, government, we've got to operate faster and be nimble, almost like an entrepreneur, because things are changing every day. And so when I look at this, and I'd like to get from each of these what their actual programs are. I understand the different organizations, but we're getting ready to have a conversation, and we got some money. And when I look at Free Store Food Bank, for example, is $75,000 on here. My question would be, in the times that we're in, does that need to be more? I don't know. Maybe it didn't when the committee met, and it takes months to get back to us, but maybe we need to observe that. When we look at the senior council on aging, I don't know what they're doing, but it's $35,000 on here. Do they really need more now because we're going in a different direction than we were some months ago? Meals on Wheels, $75,000 was the request. I know this was their request, but are they going to need more, because this was a request prior to what we're facing? So not that these other programs aren't great, and they may have some good things on there, but we're entering kind of a state of emergency. So just wanted to put that out there on the table. It's not to be answered right today, because we're not voting on this today. But for me, it's not just for this department, but all departments, combing everything we have and finding out maybe what was relevant 6 months ago may not be relevant now. And that's why we got to be able to move and be nimble, because as the challenges face us, we've got to be able to leverage and move dollars. So with this, considering, I'm looking at every dollar we got already in the bank, in any of the funds, and seeing what we might be able to shuffle if we have to shuffle in this emergency time, since this is an annual thing. We can come back next year, maybe we won't have this problem. We got something else might be a problem. But I just wanted to highlight those are some. I'm sure there's others, in finding out what we have. I have the Ohio University Extension Program. I like it, but they getting $84,449, and food bank getting $75,000. I know we got some other stuff for food bank, but food bank to me is a priority right now. Not to say the extension program is not important. I know we put some funds toward them in some other pots too. So just kind of looking at that and trying to get an overview of all funds that we might can get our hands on. And certainly if you could give me, what I see what they requested, but what exactly is it going toward? You don't have to do it today, but I've just said it before we have our vote. That would be so helpful. But you've done a great job, Jake. I appreciate it. I feel weird saying Jake from almost like Jake from Allstate. Thank you so much for all that you've done. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate the presentation. All right, let's move on to item number 2. This is the item related to SNAP benefits and CMHA vouchers. This is related to the government shutdown. We've been talking about this for about 30 days now, and trying to make sure that people in this community understand what is about to happen on November 1st, where the benefits will be shut down, and making sure that we are on record related to our thoughts related to the shutdown. And we'll get to those in a minute. But I wanted to make sure that we had the presentations first. So Michael Patton is here from JFS. We've got Greg Johnson here from CMHA. And we've got Kurt Reiber here from the Free Store Food Bank. So we're going to have Michael go first, then we're going to go to Kurt, because they're both related to food and SNAP and what's going on in that environment. And then we're going to talk about housing as well related to CMHA. So thank you all so much for being here. For the benefit of the folks in the audience, we are hoping to have these presentations first. We will have some comments from the commissioners. I know there are questions from the press related to these topics that they have not been able to ask. And so we're going to move out into the hallway after the meeting, make sure the press has an opportunity to ask questions of the three of you primarily, and we will stand there with you and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to get as much information as possible, because we are in a serious situation, and we need to make sure that people in this community understand what's going on. So Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Good morning, Commissioner. Thank you for the opportunity to come present today on this critical, important issue. We are the public safety net for families in our community. And have been for a very long time. So the numbers that I'm going to share with you are shocking and important for all of us to understand what the potential implications are for families who currently receive the SNAP benefit locally. This is obviously a nationwide problem, and we have been working closely with our Directors Association and ODJFS to sort of understand the nature of what needs to happen here. And so we are what I'm providing you with today, the information I'm giving you today, is what we know so far and what we think the implications will be for us locally as it relates to the shutdown of the federal government. So one important thing to note is that the October benefits for SNAP have been issued. If you are watching, or if you're someone who is a recipient of SNAP benefits in the community, those benefits will be available to use until you use them up. They can be used in November. So I want to make sure people are clear about that. There's been some chatter on some of our social media sites that they needed to be used by the end of October. That is not true. If you have benefits on your card, you can use those into November until they are depleted. Based on what we know now, and the direction we've gotten from ODJFS, is that SNAP benefits will not be loaded to cards for the benefit month of November, as long as the shutdown continues. SNAP, like I said, SNAP funds are already there. They can be rolled over. The other, I think, important thing to note is that so far we haven't gotten any direction from ODGFS about no longer accepting applications going into future months. So we are still operating as normal on that front. So we are accepting applications. We're reviewing recertifications. We're taking case changes, et cetera, for clients who are currently receiving benefits, SNAP benefits. If there are any changes, we will notify the public immediately. Since this is a national issue, if things change, we will know pretty quickly, and we will act as urgently as we can to make sure that those SNAP benefits are loaded, working with Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. So here are the numbers for our county. We have approximately 97,000 recipients who may be affected by this shutdown. 52,000, close to 53,000 are adults. 43,000 are children. The average monthly issuance just in Hamilton County is around $19 million. So when you think about the implication here of the amount of money, the amount of benefit that our recipients take advantage of and are able to sustain food for their families and for their children, that's the number we're looking at in Hamilton County. That's the average monthly issuance just in Hamilton County alone, about $240 million annually. Each dollar that we spend on SNAP benefits generates about $1.54 in economic activity. So that goes to anyone who provides services for families who use SNAP benefits, grocery stores, food banks, employers who hire folks that work in those industries. That is the return on the investment for every dollar spent. And that's a national statistic related to SNAP benefits. The other data that I want to share is that in Hamilton County, about almost 11,457 are 65 and older that will be impacted by this change. And one other statistic that is not here that I was able to get late yesterday, there were some questions that were being asked about the city-county split between that 97,000. It is roughly 80-20 split between city residents and county residents in terms of recipients based on the data that we were able to pull down yesterday. So just wanted to share that. 80 city, 20 county.
Oh.
Okay.
And here are some community resources. Again, it's not much guidance I have this morning. This is pretty straightforward issue. We need all of the support that we can get from our community partners. Kurt Reiber is here to talk a little bit about a free store, what they're seeing on that front related to food insecurity. This is just a potential impact to that situation that's already concerning. Community Action Agency works with the free store on a mobile pantry. Obviously, our partners at 211, I've been in contact with United Way. They have the most up-to-date data resource that tracks where food is available in your area. So no matter where you are in the county, they have the opportunity to put you in contact with areas that provide food for you where you live. And so I think that's really important, and it's up to date. So there's not a concern about any of those resources being outdated or not up and running. They work diligently to make sure that that is happening. And then finally, our 513 Relief Bus obviously is a resource for our community wherever we go to help people navigate those resources as well. Where you are, we have JFS staff that are there that understand the nature of the services that are available in our community and can help our citizens navigate the situation if it comes to pass. This is unprecedented in my experience. I've been doing this for 32 years and really dedicated my career to this as someone who has been in this space to provide public support to our citizens. This is something that we have, obviously, I have not seen in my career get to this point. So that is all I have, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have related to this.
Commissioners, you want to get Kurt Reiber in front of us also? Yeah, Kurt, let's go ahead and
Okay.
continue the presentation. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Question for,
For Michael.
yeah. It's a little different than what Kurt does.
Okay, we've got one question for you, Michael.
Maybe two.
Thank you.
But I had said earlier about SNAP with this, and that supplemental nutritional.
Assistance program.
And
Yes.
the reason why I bring that, I know those things, but I want people to hear it because we're so common with the SNAP.
Right.
And so it's not really supplemental. People depend on that to get, as it says, the nutritional needs that they have. There are certain things that you can't use your SNAP card for. But the main reasons that they use it is to be able to eat nutritionally. I just wanted to ask the question, how long does it take? I remember reading that October the 26th, if we passed October 26th, they could not put the money in, they could not fund the money for November. So my question for you, Director Patton, is how long does it take? Say we get the money today, the 240 million or 19 million. How long does it take to process this money once it goes into the system for the state?
I don't have an exact time frame for that, and I'm not sure that the state knows either because it's just unprecedented. But I don't want to guess, but I think it would be relatively quickly for us to be able to get those cards loaded. And again, the other thing I want to mention that I forgot to mention, I'm glad you asked that question. In Hamilton County, benefits are loaded based on the last number of your case number. So everybody is not loaded on the first of the month. So there is that to be considered. And so we can obviously load according to the last number of your case number, and that happens throughout the month based on your application date. So just want to make sure people are aware of that. I can answer more questions about that when we go out in the hallway, but some states that are state administered, they load all of their benefits on the first of the month every month, and so we get the benefit of not having that scenario in Ohio and in the counties in Ohio. So I don't know the exact answer to the question, but I feel like we could do it relatively quickly.
Right. The reason why I say that is people think, oh, they're back, they're going to vote, and it doesn't happen like that.
Sure.
So it'll take some time for that to happen.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
So, yeah, and I'm going to ask one quick question now, too.
Okay.
So yeah, the rolling benefits, is it about, describe that so people are aware, is it, how frequently they load, and because as you say, it's not just one load.
Correct. So when you apply, you get a case number. Typically that case number is a random case number. The last digit of that case number, I believe it's the last digit of that case number, will determine the day of the month that your SNAP benefits load. And so it's a 30-day period from the time that you apply. Every 30 days, based on the last date, the last number of your case number, your benefits are loaded. So it is a rolling daily load based on the last digit of your case number for recipients in the state of Ohio.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. With that being said, do you have the numbers, or no, we should have the numbers? How many people would be affected November 1st?
I do have that number. I can get that number to you as well. Yes, I don't have it with me now. I can have it by the time we get out and ask questions. Yeah.
When we go out, that's good. We're going out, and that's great. We've got the news there, but we're live on YouTube and everybody live right now. I want everyone to know that number because they can go back and watch this tape any time. So maybe somebody can text somebody to have it
I'll
for you
work on
before
that
you
while
leave
we're-
out of this room.
Sure.
And of course, we'll repeat it when you go out in the hallway. Okay, that's very important. How many people? The other thing I wanted to highlight on here that you indicated, which we don't talk about. We always talk about the recipient, and they put a narrative on top of it. Because I've been seeing people back and forth on Facebook and so forth, saying, hey, they taking my money. And that's why it's important. You talked about this is some federal dollars, but, Kroger's and all these stores, Walmart, Kroger, wherever you do your grocery shopping, what's the percentage? I had seen at one number, I saw 30% of the state. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I'd read that somewhere. This is a lot of money that goes to the people who get it. Finley Market, all of that. I remember my grandmother, when I was little, my grandmother did have to go on assistance. So I can grow up and I don't have to be right now, but she did. And I remember Findlay Market only could survive at that time because 90% of the people at that time, the original Findlay Market, were the people who were providing the food stamps or SNAP benefits, as it's called today. And that's a lot of money. So we always talk about the person with the card, but we don't talk about the stores that benefit. Do we have? I like what you had on here. It benefits, over $1.54, and if you multiply that or divide that, you put that $240 million. I mean, that's a lot of money in the economy, and that's sales tax and so forth. So
Correct.
can you, or you may not be able to talk about it, but someone needs to talk about how this could affect prices going up, because now if you're selling less product, if you're the store, that means your prices got to go up. And so that means people who are not on SNAP will be affected potentially because prices will go up, because that guaranteed infusion into the economy is effective. So I wanted to highlight, I'm glad you put the economic activity, that this goes back into the economy. And then my other question was, could you highlight again senior citizens that are affected or could be affected by this?
The number of senior citizens, I think it's just,
Get over
pointed.
1,000, I think.
Yeah, it's almost 12,000 senior citizens, 65 and over. So that was the baseline in terms of how we pulled the data. 12,000 senior citizens in the month of November would not receive their SNAP benefit on their card. That is going to be the impact that we see here locally, and obviously around the nation as well.
And I have read somewhere also that with the furloughed federal workers, that they may need some help. And I understood that I believe Maryland, they have that as a potential issue as well.
Correct.
With the benefits. So just wanted to, and these are people working every day, and they need potential help. So I like what we have. I know we've got more information coming, but one of the things I'm going to be pushing for is that we need a portal where people can go and get the accurate one place. Like we got 513relief.org. Maybe we can use that. A portal, you can go get real information about your SNAP benefits. Like you just said on here, if you already still got money on it, it doesn't cancel out. And other information that can help federal workers, et cetera, where they can go to one spot in Hamilton County and get the facts, like you said, because there's a lot of information out here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Make another comment. When you talk about 65 years old and older, a lot of them need food to take their medicine. So we have to think about that as a trickle-down effect. And so Commissioner Reese brought up a good point about the stores, Kroger's and all the rest. But you think about people that are doing well, making a good income, may have an aunt or a cousin or uncle who was using SNAP benefits. Then you take out of your own budget to be able to supplement them until the federal government comes through. So it's just going to affect everybody.
That's correct.
I just want to put a finer point on the population, because while about 11,000 are seniors, 53,000 of the recipients in Hamilton County are adults and 44,000 are kids.
Correct.
So we've got working families, kids, and seniors impacted.
And the vast majority of those folks that are that receive SNAP benefits are working. They're employed.
Working families.
These are working families.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Kurt Reiber is here from the Free Store Food Bank. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And I want to thank you all for the support that you all have provided during the pandemic, during the Great Recession, and now talking about this and sharing information about the shutdown. Just in answer to Commissioner Reese's question, the economic impact for an annual basis is just under $370 million for Hamilton County, based on the funds that are distributed under SNAP benefits. So, grocery stores and retailers are, are benefiting from the SNAP benefits. In fact, in Ohio, about 10,000 retailers, and that includes grocery stores, supermarkets, farmers markets. It's actually the actual number is 9,964 retailers are benefiting from the SNAP benefits that they receive as part of the commercial transaction. So that's a real number. It's in the state of Ohio, and I'm sure we can get those numbers for Hamilton County especially. This is not new to the Free Store Food Bank. 275,000 of our neighbors are food insecure. About 82,000 of those are kids. So imagine Great American Ballpark being filled up twice. That's how many kids don't know where the next meal is coming from. If we look at just what has happened right now in the first quarter, our first, Free Store Food Bank operates on a fiscal year. So we go from July 1 through June 30th. So during July, August, and September, we provided over almost $1.25 million worth of assistance to individuals. And that's over $270,000 more than what we did last year at the same quarter. Food distributed in the first quarter between 25 versus 26, 36% was donated in fiscal year 25, and now we've had 48% donated in fiscal 26 in the first quarter. That is our friends from Kroger, Walmart, Meijer, Costco, Sam's Clubs. They are responding to our request to donate more food to us. So that's a big plus, going from 36% first quarter of last year to 48% the first quarter of this year. Now, where we've had a real dramatic impact is the funds that food that we get through USDA. First quarter of last year, we were provided 44% of the food that we got in was from the federal government, USDA. This year, first quarter, 26%. So we know that those are quality items of food that are coming in, and we have to supplement that now with purchased food or donated food. Purchased food last year at first quarter went from 20% to this year 26%. So we're buying more food, as we've always shared. Just in our B. Taylor market and our Liberty Street markets, our two markets that we operate, we provide almost 20% of all the food that's distributed by the Free Store Food Bank and our 600 plus pantries come out of our two markets, our B. Taylor market off of River Road and our Liberty Street market off of Liberty Street and over the Rhine. In the first quarter, we provided $270,000 worth of food to those two markets. That's more than double what we did last year. Last year we had $130,000 that we had used to purchase product there. Roughly 50% of the families we serve are receiving SNAP benefits. And just to echo Michael's comment, 70 to 75% of the families that we serve are working families. You just have to make that tough decision. 2/3 have to decide, do I buy my food or do I pay rent? Do I buy food or do I buy medicine for the kids? Do I buy food or do I get my car fixed so I can get to work? In Ohio, almost 1.5 million of our neighbors receive SNAP benefits. 45,000 veterans receive SNAP benefits in the state of Ohio. 62% of the SNAP benefits in Ohio are from families with children. 43% of the SNAP participants in Ohio are families with older adults or disabled individuals. In Ohio, the average SNAP benefit is $5.64 a day. Through Michael's numbers, it works out to $197 a month on average for a recipient of SNAP benefits in Hamilton County. Fortunately, we've been able to adjust our resources, and we have a very caring community. So right now, only 13% of our donations that come in are from federal, state, or local government offices. That used to be 50%. 9 out of 10 meals are provided to our SNAP benefits. Tri-state families come from SNAP benefits. 1 out of 10 meals comes from Free Store Food Bank and our sister food banks across the country. We cannot food bank our way out of this situation. Philanthropy will help, but we need government resources. Right now, during the summer months when the kids are out of school, because 8 out of 10 kids are eligible for free and reduced lunches, We allow our neighbors to come and shop twice a month during the months of July, August, September, and May, June, July, August. And then when they go back to school, because they're receiving the ability to receive food at school, through those school meals, then we go back to one time a month where folks can shop. Right now we're talking amongst ourselves. We just had a board meeting this past week, and we're talking about whether or not we can increase that shopping experience for our neighbors to twice a month once again until the government shutdown rectifies itself. We'll have a meeting tomorrow about that, and hopefully we'll be able to let you know as soon as we know where our resources are and what we can do. The challenge is great. The families that we serve don't want to be in line waiting for food. They don't want to be worried about where their next meal is coming from. You saw over 43,000 kids. They didn't have a choice. We can do something about that. Freestar Food Bank will work with our partners. We have over 600 pantries that we support in 20 counties. So what's happening in Hamilton County is being replicated in the other 19 counties that we serve. We appreciate the support the Hamilton County Commission has provided to us. We appreciate what this great community has done for us as well. I would ask people if they need assistance, if they need to know where their next meal can come from, to go to our website, freestarfoodbank.org, and they can find food now, and they'll be able to find a pantry that's close to them. We operate 65 different school-based pantries, 24 health clinic-based pantries. And Freestar Food Bank has been here through the Great Recession, through the pandemic, and will be here for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Yes. Thank you for what you do. Thank you to the board members and all the people that volunteer or work for the food bank. It is so critically important, as you have pointed out. So I just wanted to hone in on two things related to funding. One is, you mentioned that the federal government, USDA, has pulled back. I was on a call yesterday with a woman that works for the governor, and she said that there is a surplus in USDA. Have you heard the same thing? And what is that dynamic attributable to? I don't understand that.
Well, the surplus that they're talking about, the USDA right now, is under the Commodity Credit Corporation. So those are funds that they can go out and do what they call bonus purchases. So those funds are then used to fill in the gaps, if you will, for food items that are out there in the marketplace. Those funds are not really available for SNAP benefits or WIC benefits. My understanding in talking with the government relations team of Feeding America, that they are working, the federal government's doing some sort of workaround for WIC benefits that will be paid out in November, but I don't know the specifics on how that's being funded, but I've understood that they're going to be able to provide WIC benefits for women, infants, and children, so they get formula. But as far as SNAP benefits, there's nothing that, they have they have about $3 to $6 million that are available, but I think they need over $8 million to fund the SNAP outreach. So they're short on that.
Okay, very frustrating. All right, and as you mentioned, we here at the county have used ARPA dollars to support the Freestar Food Bank. We are limited in funding, but when we had ARPA dollars, we were able to provide in partnership a lot of dollars throughout the community for a variety of things. And so that $2 million original amount, and then we've done some since then. In 2024, $478,000. In 2025, $363,000. All of that is ARPA money, and it's rolling out from other projects that either did not move forward or that had a balance after the project was done. And so we always are evaluating the ARPA, because it has to be spent by a certain time. So we're always evaluating where those dollars are and if there are dollars available for other programs as we continue to roll through that. So this commission, I believe it was last week, asked the administration to report back to us if we had any additional dollars rolling in that way. in the near future so that perhaps we could direct them to the Free Store Food Bank. And so I think we're going to have a report on Thursday about that. And so hopefully we can do some immediate relief, maybe 180 grand, something like that. It's certainly not the 2 million that we were able to do in the beginning. However, trying to do our part, because where do people turn when the SNAP benefits are canceled or shut down? And it is the food banks. And so your capacity is now going to be strained. And so we are looking into that. I just want to let you know. But as we do that, and as others do that, you just said this is a generous community. I assume people understanding the situation are contributing. How do you have the capacity, personnel-wise, to deal with the influx of individuals that might be coming come November 1st?
I would say that we do. We have 140 amazing team members on our front line of hunger, working each and every day at the Free Store Food Bank. We have over 12,000 volunteers that support our efforts, and they provide over 85,000 hours of volunteer service. So the capacity of the Free Store Food Bank is unquestionably there to respond to the need that's out there. We've been reaching out through our social media outlets to let the federal workers, the folks that have been furloughed, the folks that have been laid off, know that they can come to the Free Store for the support that they need. I'm feeling that just personally. My son has been furloughed, and my other son-in-law is in the Air Force, and he's been not receiving pay. So we know firsthand what that's all about. And we're making very conscious efforts to make sure that the families that we're reaching out to, and making sure that our pantry partners are also receiving the resources that they need as well. Free Store has been very good stewards of the resources we've gotten in, and part of that challenge too is to be able to set aside some funds for situations like this. So we have some funds to deploy. In fact, we've been able to double the amount of product being able to purchase because of the great support that the Hamilton County Commissioners have provided to us. So essentially, the food that the funds that you provide to us is doubled or sometimes even tripled of what we're able to do throughout the other 19 counties, and that's really important.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Summer-Dumas.
Thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you for all that you guys always do. Food is a basic need along with housing. It's a necessity, not a luxury. I would ask that if I could get a copy of all those statistics that you gave in that report was great. I'm also going to implore our private community. We're saying 240 million annually for SNAP benefits would take care of it. There are plenty of CEOs in this community, in this county, that could step up and step in. We don't know how long this federal shutdown is going to go. So I'm asking private agencies, CEOs, companies to step up and help. You have to be able to eat. And it's a trickle-down effect. I just said a minute ago, if you can't eat, then you're gonna find out how to get some food, some sort of way. And we talk about what's going on in this city and this county, and if you have to feed your children, you're gonna figure out a way if you have to feed yourself. So I'm imploring, not begging, but imploring our private community to listen to this, think about this, know about this, and if you haven't done anything that would make your heart, and most of them have that I know, think about maybe giving some money toward this effort, because we don't know where the end is. So
we talk about a hungry child can't learn and an uneducated adult can't earn, and that's really what our mantra is.
Say that one more time.
We say that a hungry child can't learn and an uneducated adult can't earn.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. That's
Thank
all
you.
I have.
Commissioner Reese.
Thank you, Kurt, for putting some finer points on the crisis that we're in, and also highlighting the economic impact. I want to stay on that point because there seems to always be a narrative that's out there, and a lot of times people buy into the narrative. The reality is, as Director Patton said, these are people who are actually working. So when they say, oh, they just don't need to go get a job, these are people who are working, I want that to be the big headline. These are people who are working. That means they're paying taxes and they're busting their butt every day trying to provide for them, for their families. This is grandma and granddad who has been working, who had to retire and was hoping that they could retire in peace, but now can't get anything to eat because they got to make a decision on, do they go get the medicine or do they go and get something to eat? This is huge. Then there is an economic benefit. We say we want to support small businesses and retailers and everything. This is important because you talked about $300 million that has the impact that we have here. We're talking about 10,000 almost retailers in all of Ohio. That's just Ohio. So they're making money. When they come in there with that card and buy the food, they're not walking out with free food. The food is paid for to the retailers. That's Kroger's and everybody else who are making money. And it's part of their business model, I would imagine. And if you take those dollars out of their financial model, their financial deck, then the prices got to go up. This also affects the farmers that are out there. You talked about farmers market, the little small farmers markets that are out there in our communities, which we have tried to work together with Free Store Food Bank to get rid of these food deserts throughout Hamilton County. This affects the grocery store that just went into Avondale, that they said, we need to put one in Avondale, a grocery store, African-American grocery store. They went through all of the hoops to finally be able to accept the SNAP benefits, and I think they just got approved. And that's part of their business model, to be able to stay in Avondale where they had a food desert. You also made the point, we can't just food pantry our way out of this. Everybody said, oh, just get a food pantry. We only can go so far. Food pantry was just a stopgap. It was not meant to be the grocery store. But we've done a lot with food pantry, as was said today. As a county, we put a lot of money in food pantry, almost $3 million, just recently. We're going to put some more because we said we've got to have at least the stopgap to try to save people. You were very active during COVID. I saw people pulling up who never would come to the Free Store Food Bank. In fact, you talked to me because I joined with you on this End World Hunger. I'm on this mission with you. But you mentioned a man who came down, was well off, was always donating, always volunteering, and one day came down with his son. He said, are we here to volunteer? He said, no, son. Unfortunately, we're here because we need some food. And he had tears in his eyes because he didn't want to have to need the help. So those are some important points. On top of this SNAP piece, we have federal workers who's working every day who are not working. Their money just stopped. Many are working without being paid. Now, that used to be called something else. That's why we got the Freedom Center. They're working with no paycheck. And things are racking up. So everything that you mentioned, I want to make sure we put a fine point on it. Now, going to the next part, we got the economic impact. So these are folks that are making an economic impact. These are the folks that's keeping the grocery stores open, keeping the small retail stores open. These are the people that helping keep the farmers markets going. And then we also are people who are working every day, paying taxes because they're taking it out the check. The fourth thing, though, I want to highlight is the fact of private investment. Everybody is not broke, because when I read these stories, a football coach, now he wasn't in our city, he ran out of here and ran to another school. But I saw where he is he got fired and they're going to buy him out. And they said, well, how are you going to pay for him? They said there has been a large confidential donor that's going to pay him tens of millions of dollars for being fired, not winning games at football. So the money's out there. Then at the same time we got no SNAP. At the same time there's a ballroom. I saw some tearing down over on the White House lawn. And they got a ballroom they claim is $300 million. And then they got 37 people that said they can come up with $300 million. We need $240 million so we can feed thousands of kids and babies and senior citizens and folks that work every day. We need $240 million. The ballroom is $300 million. And 37 people said we'd come up with it at no blink of an eye. So we do need private folks to step up. The money is out there, but unfortunately, we're creating a society of the haves and the have-nots. And the have-nots, they're trying to grow it. Middle class, I don't care if you're working, we're gonna make you the have-nots. You've been working with the federal government, you're middle class, you've been able to buy a house, take care of your kids, we're gonna make you the have-nots. You've been a senior citizen, you done worked your butt off, you trying to retire, but everything going up, we're gonna put you over in the have-nots. You a college student, done come out, got all this debt on your back, we're gonna put you over on the have-nots. The have-nots is growing, but then we get the football coach who, left here. Glad we not paying for him, but he ran down to another school, and all of a sudden, the haves can come up with the money to pay him to get out of there because he ain't winning the game. But we don't have the money to help somebody go to school or be elementary school and preschool. They can't get nothing to eat, not a sandwich or anything. We have put them in the have-not category and say we don't care about them. What kind of society are we becoming? And then we got a $300 million ballroom with 37 people said they can come up with the money like that. So we are calling on the private sector that's out there that has the money that can do it like that to step up for humanity. This ain't a Democrat or Republican issue. When you're hungry, they don't care who you are. You just ain't got nothing to eat. I need a snap of these billionaires and gazillionaires, the ones that can fund the ballrooms and can fund the coaches being fired, to step up to help us. Because all we need, when you look at the money now, all we need is $240 million. And we can save a society. So thank you, Kurt, for bringing up those points. Right now we got a Band-Aid. We're going to put a little Band-Aid on it. We're going to try to do our part. We've asked the administration to comb everything. JFS, look at everything, every program, everything we got, because we got to help save and stabilize until we get through this rocky time. So thank you very much, and I look forward to it. I know we're going to have some things with the 513 relief bus. We've been doing some things, but we got to step up even more with this mobile unit, with your mobile unit, and be able to get people information and connect them to resources. So thank you.
And I just want to call out Michael Patton and his team at JFS, because they have been wonderful partners of ours, have really stepped up with us and allowed us to do the impact we have. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Kurt.
Just 1 second, please. I have one other comment. And it's really more related to Director Patton, though, but thank you so much for the food stories I had said. I mentioned earlier about the private company. I introduced that option. And so I look at the children, and it says 43,673 children. And really, it's not a question, but it's a comment that in the private community who do a lot for this county, and they launch campaigns all the time, that maybe they just want to pay. And I figured out, Director Patton, it's like 110 million for the children. The total is 240. And with the percentage, I kind of said about 110 million. If you only want to give the money for the children, we'll accept it. Everything adds up together. So I just was sitting here and thinking and hearing almost that I just want to give to the children. So if you want to give to the children, we'll accept it. We hope that you'll give to the adults too, because they have the children. So, but that's, oh, the last thing I wanted to say, and it's not related to either of the speakers, is we have a pantry today at our church. And when we have a pantry, the line is all the way out to the street. And I can only imagine today what it's going to look like. Double, triple the lines, and I know we won't have enough for them. So it's just a desperate situation, and we all know that, and we have to be more creative than ever before. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Commissioner, just real quick, I had an update to Commissioner Reese's question. This is from September, so it changes slightly every month. We don't know what the issuance will be for November potential impact, but September 3rd, there were 346. September 4th, 361. There's a group around the 20th of the month that have a number 9 for their last number. I think the state prompts those and bulks those around the 20th of the month. So the vast majority are loaded around the 20th of the month. So I just wanted to let you know in the hundreds for the first few weeks, but the vast majority get loaded around the 3rd week of the month is when the vast majority get loaded. And I'll have that information up on our website when we leave, just to give people an idea of what the loads look like for September. We'll have it by October as well. So it changes every month, but it's close to the same every month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just wanted to find out also, as we're going into Thanksgiving, kind of how that number, because you just said like middle of the month.
20th. For September, the 20th of the month, they loaded 47,000 in September. 47,000 cards were loaded on that day in the month of September of the 53 or so adults who receive assistance. So there's a clumping that happens around that date every month, and then it's spread out a lot less throughout the rest of the days of the month.
Okay, so if that's 47,000, that means it would, if it's a 30-day window, we're looking at 47,000 going into Thanksgiving.
Correct.
This thing is not, and that's the other thing. We already have a lot of people with needs around the Thanksgiving, although we have a lot of people with baskets and those kind of things. But this number will increase when 47,000 don't have anything available during that time. As well as, like I said, inventory could be affected. So now turkeys go up higher because less turkeys are being bought.
Correct.
Those kind of things, I want to put a fine point in as well and keep our eye on that because that's something else we want to possibly have to think about as well. And I also wanted to piggyback on Commissioner Dumas's point about the private, where they can donate. Maybe that's something that our administration, I don't know if we have something, Operation Hamilton County, and people can keep up with it and donate to it. I don't know how, but I would like to put that on the table, commissioners, for our administration maybe to get back with us. If there's a private sector person that wants to give and they want to give to kids or however they want to do it, maybe we might need to look at, do we have a mechanism or have we ever done this before that can be a place that we all can, if somebody calls us, we can say, hey, go to that site or something, and that's where you can help.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, Free Store Food Bank is an obvious.
They've got it,
because they're going to be feeling the brunt of it. But yeah, we can figure out what the other opportunities might be. And I don't want to lose track. I mean, we are also going to call on the state.
Oh, absolutely.
Participate in this, right? We've talked about the feds. We talked about ourselves. The city of Cincinnati, Anna Albee, the council member is here. I know the city is looking at solutions. We're also going to call on the state.
Yes.
The state has a substantial rainy day fund, and we're going to talk about that more in the hallway as we talk about some of the partnerships here. But the state has a substantial rainy day fund, and so hopefully the governor and the legislature will step into this emergency situation and provide some assistance through the funds that they have available. The governor can't do it alone. He's got to do it with the legislature. And so, we are going to be calling on the state of Ohio to look at those options and look into the rainy day fund for assistance come November 1st, because it's raining for a lot of people in Hamilton County and in the state of Ohio, and we hope they will step up on that front. But more to come on that. Greg Johnson has been waiting patiently, so I do want to get to him before we go into the hallway and have a little bit more of a conversation about this and allow people to ask questions of the individuals that have made the presentations.
Appreciate that, and I can't wait to hear his presentation. Can we assume that when the SNAP benefits come in, are they going to be retroactive? Will they get the money that they lost?
Yes.
They will.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, Greg Johnson is here. Greg, we're going to ask you to provide your information. So this is a little bit more long-term, but not much. We've got SNAP is right in front of us, but this housing situation is also coming quickly. And so if you could roll through this, and then we're going to go out in the hallway, as we said.
Good morning, commissioners, and thank you for allowing me to just say a few words about the impact to the Housing Authority and what's coming down the pike. I will try to be as quick as possible, so I know we have to go to the next steps. So I'll just dive right in. I'll skip that part, and I think these are some of the numbers that we've been talking about already. And so when you look to the left, that is on our Housing Choice Voucher Program, how many families, individuals will be affected, public housing, and then the mixed income program that we've been developing over the last few years. So all of these families would be affected if the government shutdown continues. The way how it looks for the Housing Authority is that through the 15th of November, none of our public housing programs are slated to be funded. For our mixed income programs, they have been cut off as of October, so we haven't received any funding for those programs. And to some of your points that you're making, as I go through this, we are a housing provider, but we also fund other housing properties and projects throughout the community that'll have a lasting effect. And we provide jobs for small businesses as well. So just to talk about the program, we'll be, as of January 1st, if this continues to go on, we'll lose $9.3 million, which we pay out to over 3,500 landlords in our community. And it's about $111 million annually. Just some demographics, that is the demographic breakdown. And in that 74%, as you've already talked about in SNAP, those are our kids that are in that 74% as well. Just another point, we partner with 26 different development partners that have gotten loans and either built or refurbished housing where we've attached vouchers to those particular properties. So it's going to affect those 654 units, which we pay out $7.1 million annually to those. We've created additional partners in the community with a lot of different partners that affect the homelessness, where we allow referrals in our system. And we pay out annually about $23 million to help support that, which affects a little over 2,000 individuals. Here's the breakdown of adults, kids, and veterans that this would affect if this continues to go forward. And this is just a list of some of the partners that we partner with. So you can see the CPS strategies, then homeless is just to name a few. Then we'll talk about the public housing program. There's a number of units that we actually have, and we receive $28 million of subsidy annually. Since as of November 15th, we won't receive any of the $2.3 million that we receive monthly for those particular programs, and we would just be operating off of the rents that we actually get from residents. Further in the public housing program, you can see families with kids, about 81%, and that's another 8,379 individuals, and the breakdown of disabled and elderly. I think this is a huge thing. The utilities, we all know utilities are going up, and we actually pay households to help pay their utilities, and we pay about $504,000 annually. That's about 700 individuals that will not get that help to help pay their utilities. Then lastly, in our preservation and our conversion programs and new built housing, we receive about $7.2 million in subsidy, and we'll lose about $600,000 per month in that subsidy. And for these programs, we actually have not received anything as of October for this program. So for CMHA and our 3 programs, we're surviving this month on the rents that we get in this program. The middle of November, we will maybe not receive any subsidy. And then as of January, we won't receive any subsidy for our Housing Choice Voucher Program if this process continues. And there's a breakdown of our mixed income programs for our last program I just spoke about. And then the vendor support, it goes to the point that has been talked about already. We have about 280 vendors, 110 of those are MBE, WBE vendors. There's a breakdown of WBE, MBE, and 770 jobs that will be lost or vendors not being paid because of the effects. So if you add up 770 jobs that we affect with our vendors, over 3,500 landlords that won't be getting paid. That's an indirect, and then 654 out of 26 development partners that all will not be getting their paycheck in a sense. Just in summary, $9.3 million loss as of January. Over 39,000 families in Hamilton County face potential loss of their rental subsidy in some form or fashion, and then a $2.3 million reduction per month in public housing programs, 600,000 in our mixed income programs, and then again 770 local jobs, mostly with small minority women-owned business and vendors. So I flew through that pretty quick because I know it's on a time constraint. Overall.
Well, thank you for the presentation. These 2 are huge numbers, and it makes you realize how important these programs that are funded by the federal government, how important they are to the residents of Hamilton County, particularly those in need. And so this coupled with the SNAP benefit conversation, it's just, it's a little overwhelming. I'll admit I feel a little overwhelmed by what you're talking about. Timing's a little bit different, but not much. So if you wouldn't mind, as we continue through, I think it would be helpful to get an update from you as to what you're seeing. If the real impact is January 1, as you say, but then you talked about a November date as well. So help us better understand these dynamics. What is the difference between the January 1st date and the November 15th date?
January 1st date is our Housing Choice Voucher Program. So the federal government has funded the Housing Choice Voucher Program through December. So those payments will go, just the January payments are not loaded. For our public housing program, which includes capital funds and subsidies and utility subsidies for the residents, those funds have not been funded through November the 15th. And then the other part of the program that has not been funded, those are vouchers that we send in to a different part of HUD that when this was cut off, we hadn't submitted our voucher, so we didn't get any funding because there was nobody there to push the button to send us the funding. So even though it's delayed, but it's critical right now for us in operations because all of our programs need us to be there as a group to help the programs and help the residents. And all of our vendors need to be paid on the net 30 days that we have. And they will go bankrupt if we can't pay them, or we have to decide which ones to push back 90 days because of this ordeal, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Thank you for your presentation. I remember last month we were so proud about, we had read that the homeless numbers had gone down. And so you don't even have to use your imagination to think about no food and no home and what that looks like in this county and in the city. It's planting seeds of chaos, exactly what it's doing. And that we have to have some relief, and we have to demand to our government, as you were saying, the state, local, federal, we have to make some demands or we're going to reap the repercussions of all of this. So it was very clear. Thank you for your information.
Thank you. Commissioner Reese.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for updating us. And I just want to say that, you know, our board has been very firm, bold, and vested in affordable housing. And you have been in affordable housing before the word was popular. Once it became popular, I don't feel have heard enough from the work that you have been doing down there. So I'm glad that you're here today. We hear from, you know, all these developers that all of a sudden discovered affordable housing. But what you presented to us is alarming, and I know that, as my colleagues have said, frustration, because we've been trying to put a dent into making sure that someone has a place to live, and then also trying to help it be affordable for people who already have a place to stay in their place. And you're saying that this could put more people out on the streets when we're already overloaded with not enough housing, affordable, in our county. And so I want to make sure that our administration, I know they do talk to you, but keep you in the forefront of this thing, because you have the most experience of any developer under the title affordable housing. And I want to make sure that we're not throwing people out on one side and we're over here building on another side. We've got to keep people in affordable housing. You've got the voucher program, et cetera. But even the voucher program, I would like us to take a look at it, because I understand you've got a couple thousand that are on a waiting list, some of them senior citizens, who need a voucher. And we have some dollars that we put, and we've got some things that may not be happening. And it takes a little longer sometimes for some of these new projects may not go as we anticipated, but a voucher could get somebody in the house right now. And so I want to put on the table the administration to look at what impact could that waiting list on vouchers with some of these reallocated dollars that might not be used. I want to take a good hard look at it because I think that if I want to get somebody in the house right away, the voucher is the quickest way. And then they pay on a sliding scale. So it's not like they're not paying. They pay on a sliding scale of what they can afford. So I do want to put that on the table. I did had a briefing when you briefed me on some of this stuff, and I thought about it. And so I wanted my colleagues to know that I am going to ask the administration to look at, if we have extra dollars, if we got projects that can't get out the door because they got tariffs on the lumber and all that stuff, can some of this be allocated to getting some of these folks that's in waiting on these vouchers so they can get in a house right now? So those are the things that I wanted to highlight. But of course, I join with my colleagues that these are alarming. And the other things that we talk about too with affordable housing, we talk about the wraparound services. And you've been doing the wraparound services. You've been doing it quietly and just kind of keeping your head down doing the work. But I do think it's time for us to be able to lean on your expertise, both in the development side, the wraparound side, and under the title of affordability, because that's all you've been doing is affordable housing.
Correct.
So I wanted to highlight that and thank you for all of the service that you do. And I hope that the county and our city and all that, because I had to work with with you all when I was at the city, that we got some newcomers to the game, but we don't throw away someone that's been on top of it. And I know our board has worked with you and listened to you on some things, but I think the voucher piece for me is another rapid way that we can get more people who are on the waiting list. You got you got some facilities that's ready to take them, some houses, et cetera. We can get them in an affordable place to live. So I would like to explore that. And I just wanted my colleagues to know that I like to kind of explore that a little bit more as we go into where we go with the few dollars that we have. So just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Please stick around for what we're going to do in the hallway. So, Commissioners, we have nothing further in front of us by way of our official agenda. I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.